Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was good. He feels good. Had a good practice and no restrictions for him. So, but you're right. That's a it's a heavy piece of our lineup, a big piece of our lineup.
Is it nice to have the lineup a little more healthy? You know, that Jacob didn't go down or doesn't have a long-term injury.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's we're status quo from where we were, and but he did leave the game, so to have him back participating in full today was good.
When maybe this is a question that Braden could answer better, but from your experience, when you have a guy who's playing third pair and he's sheltered to a certain extent, and then he moves up because of circumstances, do you think that maybe frees him a little bit to do more because now he's expected to do a little bit more? He has a little more responsibility, so he can blossom instead of being straitjacketed.
Yeah, it's when you say straitjacketed in, it's that almost sometimes that almost gives the impression that like you don't trust somebody, whereas we like the 5 guys on the power play that we have. That doesn't mean that we don't have other good guys as well. It's just that we use these guys in these situations, so the minutes become less for others than it does, and it kind of goes like that when you're talking about minutes in the ice for forwards or position or defense and their rankings and their pairings and where they go out and how they go out. He's a young defenseman that we have a lot of trust and a lot of confidence in. I think he's learning, and I think every game, every year is experience for young players. When you're 19, 20, 22, 24 years old, you're still really young and still learning a lot. But I do think that when you get those opportunities that you're talking about, that's a chance for you to rise and shine. And he did do that last night. You're talking about, I mean, I like the way he's attacking the ice too. Maybe you think of him as a bit more of a physical defenseman and maybe a bit stay at home at times and good defense and good first pass out of his end. But there's been times this year where I really like the way he attacks the ice as well offensively. And
Well, do you think he's better with the puck on the other side of the blue line than he is in his own end?
I think he's a good two-way defenseman. I do, and so I don't. I think he's a good two-way defenseman. I think he's going to continue to grow in both ends. I think the defense sometimes is harder, to be honest with you. Like for young players, especially defensemen, to learn the game defensively and the reads and the neutral zone reads, the defensive zone reads, covering some really high-end players out on the ice. I think that part is a little bit harder to see. And conversely, when you do something that's really good offensively, any player, and it connects, then it's almost a story the next day. But if it doesn't connect, it's not a story, right? And so the defense gets scrutinized more, and so I think that's even harder to learn. But I do see him as somebody who can continue to grow on both sides of the game.
So going back to when I shouldn't have used the word straitjacket, that was my word.
Yeah.
Is this part of the communication process with a younger player or a guy in the fourth line or third pair all saying, we're not straitjacking.
Yeah.
Your minutes are important.
Yeah, there's always conversations that go on. We try to make everybody feel important, no matter what role they play on the team. But I think that through the course of time, and when somebody leaves the lineup, there's opportunities for these players to go up and continue to shine and show what they can do. But try to communicate. Thought he had a heck of a game last night, and that's you express that to him, and he sees video clips every day. And Phil Housley sits down with these guys and continues to teach them and trying to grow them and develop them. All the players. Yesterday were some questions about Key, and today Schneid's, and it doesn't matter whether it's Foxy and Troops. We're trying to show them and get them better and continue to grow their game as well. So, but it was good to see him. Yeah, there's communication. Yeah, there's video. And there's going to be opportunity, and I think that those are chances for players to step up and shine.
Tyler used the word trust like 3 or 4 times in my conversation with him. He's no spring chicken. What was the conversation like? He was kind of a journeyman coming in, joining the team, and with what his role would be this season and how that line has gelled.
Well, I think having a line like we put together presents an opportunity, and then from there they have to go out and do the right things and play the game the right way. There's some physicality to it, there's some defense, there's decision making, there's a lot of work that goes into it playing against other teams, you know, higher end players. And I think these guys have done a really good job. And so last night I think they caught almost every shift against the Strom line, and I thought they played a heck of a game. They did exactly what they were supposed to do out there. Not only that, they dragged them into the offensive zone, and they created a lot of good looks and chances too. I wish some of those would drop for them because they're working really hard. But at the end of the day, they did their job again last night.
What is the particular challenge that this trip presents to you? Are you curious to see how you play against these two teams? Is there a particular unique challenge that Kachuk
Yeah.
presents?
Yeah. So I mean, I think we've faced some players like that. You know, there's other players that play that type. We had one last night that plays that aggressive type of game, and so I think our guys have handled situations and teams. You're talking about a team that, you know, made it deep last year, and you're talking about a team that has made it deep for many years. And so I think there's a challenge that goes with that heading down there. The back-to-back part of it is a little bit of a challenge. Tampa will be waiting for us, so you know, when we get to that one, we'll have to be ready. But I think our guys have handled have handled some situations and some teams. You know, you look at it, the schedule and some of the games that we played, the Boston games, they were tough and they were physical. Minnesota, I thought we came back and played a good game. Nashville can play an aggressive, physical game. I thought we handled that one well. So I think it's a good challenge for our group to get out and play a couple of teams that I feel are still really, really strong in the Eastern Conference, strong in the league.
Are you curious when you go through these different challenges during your are you curious to say, I'm curious to see how you respond to this, or are you pretty confident?
I think if we go out and we play our game and the way we're supposed to play, and we skate and we compete and we're detailed and we do the things that have made us successful, I feel pretty confident that we can go and play. I think we've proven that a little bit too, because we have played some good teams and we have been able to find success. And so, and then the ones that we haven't found success or we haven't played the way we want, I think our guys have come back the next time we played them and answered the bell as well. And last night was a good example. So, you know, that I think I'm confident, I guess, going down there that we can go and play a good hockey game. I know that we're playing two good opponents, and that's hopefully what will make it a great game.
Speaking on confidence, coming in another back-to-back, do you think the conditioning of a few back-to-backs now will help the team in another set? Or is it just something that's a challenge every time you have a game in a half?
I think they're a little bit of a challenge. You know, some of them, probably more than half of the back-to-backs, the other teams played the night before too, so I always think it's a little bit more of a challenge. But then again, you know, we haven't responded really well when we're playing the team that when we're rested, and the team that we're playing was not. We haven't played our best in those games, so I don't know. I'm gonna go. Let's go one at a time and go to Florida and take on the first game and hopefully do, like I said, do the right things. We know we're playing a good team. And then we'll wake up the next day and we'll deal with that.